the time of year that the fruit trees are starting to blossom. And this video is about my pawpaw trees, also known as Asimina triloba. These are one of the only native fruit trees to North America, and they belong to the same family as like custard apples, cherimoya, that sort of thing. So it's kind of like a non-tropical relative of tropical fruit. So they are getting ready to bloom. These will grow zone 5. I'm not sure how high a zone they can grow in, 9, 10, 9 for sure, maybe 10. And they are a deciduous tree. They do have kind of large tropical looking leaves, which is one of the reasons why I like them. When they're small, because they grow in the forest and the undergrowth in the northeast of North America, all the way up into Canada, southern Ontario. And so it's generally considered that these things like kind of shade when they're young, and when they start to get bigger, they like more sun. So mine, they were always probably part sun. They've done pretty well for me. We had a bad ice storm, and unfortunately it snapped the top off my largest one. You can kind of see it right there. Which is like it sucked beyond sucked, because this was the biggest. It was a beautiful tree, but these do take a long time to get going for fruit, so you have to be patient with them. I'm coming up on the 6-year anniversary that I stuck these things in the ground. They were only maybe 4 feet tall, and I have not gotten fruit yet. So last year, the snapped off one had some flowers, and this one had some flowers, and this one had not. And the thing about pawpaws is you need to have them close to one another for proper propagation. In cold areas, they come out early in the year, so the bees and things like that won't be your pollinators. You're looking more at like flies and beetles, because the flowers are very dark purple. And I will shoot a video when I get some. And a lot of people say they smell like rotting meat. So it attracts those flies and beetles. And excuse the noise, I have no idea what that is. But what I wanted to show you was how you can tell earlier on if your pawpaws are gonna flower. And the thing is, you will see 2 types of buds develop. You will get ones, try and zoom in on that. Oops. They're kind of like leaves, they're pointy. The reason why I'm out here today is because it's cloudy, and I'm hoping it's gonna help. But you can kind of see the rounded, you have the kind of pointier, I don't know why this doesn't want to focus, but you have the pointier leaves, and you have these round, they almost look like little mushrooms. Gosh, I just don't know why this doesn't want to focus. And so those rounded, they're brown and fuzzy, those are your flower buds. Maybe if I come in here, that is a normal one. Let's go back to this one because it's kind of easy. That's so weird. I've never had this problem with this. You can see the rounded shape, and then above it, they're much smaller. Maybe if we zoom in on some against the sky there. You can see that one on the right, how it's bumping out like a little mushroom. That is a flower bud. Up there, on the left, those are flower buds. They really stand out from the branches compared to the normal. See, these are normal buds, just kind of more elongated, and they rest in. Anyway, so when they develop, you get, I believe the flowers start out as male and they turn female. So you need more than one tree, although I have heard of people that have had success with only one tree. And you also want to have 2 different varieties or 2 unrelated pawpaws, so they could either be seedling pawpaws which are just kind of randomly generated, like wild type. I don't know what type mine are. There are a lot of name varieties. Most of them have names related to the Northeast. 'Cause I think one of the people who developed them was in like Pennsylvania, that sort of area. And so those ones, the fruit they set is more consistent. You know, the size, the amount of seeds, the flavor profile. Those grafted ones tend to set fruit at a younger age. So I would highly recommend getting those. When I bought these, um, I just saw them and we were excited and we bought them because we hadn't seen them here when we moved out this way. And if I were to do it all over again, I would mail order. There was actually a nursery by me that carries quite a few different varieties, which I didn't know of at the time. But if I were in a place that didn't have that, I would mail order, like a Susquehanna, something like that. There's like sunflower, mango, all different varieties. So that would be my advice. And in my climate, the thing that I come up against is we don't get any rain in rain in the summer, and these things come from areas where there's abundant rainfall in the summer. So I have to water mine. Not that often. They do send a very deep tap root down, and again, this is getting into a long video here. Small plants, they are not even just small ones, any ones, they don't transplant well because they have that really deep taproot. So you really have to get a small one, put it in the spot where you want it, and that's it. You know, it's set it and forget it sort of plant. Well, maybe not forget it if you live in my area, but if you're in the Northeast, it's going to be a pretty easy tree for you. They do not suffer from pests like a lot of the other fruit trees do, which is really great. So it's a relatively easy fruit tree. They look great. The fruit has, you know, a unique flavor to it. So you might want to consider trying a couple pawpaws. I would highly recommend them. Even just their overall appearance is quite nice, and the way they grow is kind of a pyramidal form, so you don't even really have to trim them. If I get like a dead branch or a branch that might look like it's gonna cross, I'll trim it. But that's about it. Unlike your kind of more, you know, your plums and your apples and your cherries, I mean, they're a lot of work. These, you don't spray them, don't do much. So highly recommend. And this is a real long one here, but I think you can probably tell I really like these trees. So hopefully this is the year we actually get some fruit. I would be very excited. Thanks for watching.